Hey everyone. Uh, Basically, we have a vehicle, a 1989 Toyota Corolla, excuse me, Camry, that had an unexpected engine oil light that came on, off and on it is, and it was returned back to the house to do subsequent troubleshooting. We did a pressure check of the oil center unit with the OTC oil pressure gauge, and it came back at 0 psi, which I thought was unreal, considering that the vehicle was driven back. But anyway, we inspected the cam lobes. I don't have the valve cover off, but we had pulled it off earlier, and there was no damage, oil starvation whatsoever in the camshaft lobes. And this area is the furthest away from the oil pump. We also disconnected the connecting rod, which is underneath here, and it seems to be in good shape. There's no damage whatsoever to the connecting rod billet, and basically the reason why this came in for low oil pressure was due to the fact that the oil pressure pump had spun loose, as you can see here. It was driving just fine the time that I was driving the vehicle for 3 months, and then for some reason one day it just lost hope or started to lose oil pressure off and on. And we're not sure if the nut, well, it was loose, but we're not sure if the pulley spun loose from the shaft, or if the nut spun loose, or if it was just not tight for some reason, or was it totally tightened in the past. So this is something that has happened to other 89 Toyota Camrys with a 3SFE engine, at least the ones I've looked up online on the internet. So anyway, getting back to the vehicle that I'm working on. I'm not going to edit this video because I have no way to edit it, so take out the things that are not related to the repairs. So anyway, this is the new cover that I've put the gasket on. Used RTV, torqued all these 10mm bolts down evenly across the entire cover. Before I fully certify this as completely sealed, I will have to get a feeler gauge and make sure that it does not exceed 10 thousandths inch gap, which it shouldn't. We did lubricate the crankshaft main seal with oil, and I did pre-lube the oil pump with oil. As you can see how much resistance I'm getting. It's quite a bit of resistance because there's oil in there. And there's a little bit of oil on the gasket that kind of came down when I was tilting it up. So anyway, the next thing I would probably do on this thing is, yeah, that's something. The last mechanic that worked on it, I believe I did ask him if he replaced the timing belt, and if I asked him to replace the tensioner, which is this is the tensioner. There's something you should always do when replacing timing belts. You should always replace the tensioner, and if possible, replace the water pump, because the labor is the expensive part of doing a timing belt. The pumps are not that much, tensioners are not that much to replace, and the belt is certainly not that much. So always replace them when you do the timing belt. Tensioners are also automatic, and as you can see from this tensioner, if I can spin it while holding the cell phone, let's see if I can do it. See how it wants to continue to spin? Yeah, there we go. That is indication that you have no grease left in the bearings. And that is an indication that this tensioner will fail in a short period, probably within a year after replacing this timing cover. So I'm not sure, but I think the previous mechanic may have said he never replaced this. Well, this needs to be replaced. and this is a test you do on all bearings on all vehicles, doesn't matter what it is, is you do the spin test. It shouldn't spin no more than a quarter turn. And the reason why is the grease that's in the bearings acts as a brake. It acts as a it prevents the it creates drag. That's the term. It creates drag on the bearings and on the races. And if it spins like this, half turn or full turn, replace it. Doesn't matter what it is inside the engine. So anyway, I'm checking off, and we still have more work to do on this vehicle. I'm not going to put it together just yet because this needs to be replaced. All right, checking off.